Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, do you know what, guys? It's not even a good evening, is it? It's an absolute crazy evening. So we are going to be talking this evening about the American death toll so far in the conflict in Iran, mass shootings in America, not one mass shooting, but there's been two mass shootings. One mass shooting is literally a couple of hours old, guys. This is from Ohio. So there's also been one mass shooting in America in Texas, one mass shooting in Ohio. I've not even looked at the mass shooting in Ohio, but I know that the mass shooting in Texas, that was done by a West African gentleman, and he was wearing a hoodie that said "Property of Allah." Now, I don't know what this means. What I do know is that the Germans, yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Germans are warning, fears Iran will tell proxies to attack targets across Europe. So this comes now as an official report speaking to German media. Mark Heinrichmann of the Parliamentary Control Committee of the Intelligence Service in Germany. So he's warning. So the German intelligence basically are warning now that the likelihood of Iranian sleeper cells has gone up. Look, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not watching my channel now and really paying attention to the things that I'm saying are coming in future, like, I don't say this stuff to give you guys, content and drama. I'm saying this stuff because I genuinely see this happening. And when I'm telling you things that are happening, please just pay attention. And do you know what? If you've not done so already, please make sure you hit those buttons. Like, comment, subscribe. Share this with a friend. Share this with a friend, ladies and gentlemen. And let people know that I'm telling you guys what's coming in the future. I keep saying this. I think in the United Kingdom, we have got until Tuesday. I think anything after Tuesday is not the best scenario if you live in the United Kingdom. But let's jump over, guys, and let's talk about what's happening in the United States. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as we are today, there have been confirmed American, confirmed America. This conflict has claimed, I guess, its first American confirmed lives. Now, here's what we know so far, and let me just throw this out there, like I'm doing each one of these live streams. The information is coming in thick. The information is coming in fast. I'm trying to I'm trying to decode what's coming in, what's real, what's credible, and give it to you guys as objectively as I can. Sometimes the information might be double speak. Sometimes it might not. So what I'm getting at is the information is fluid and it may change in the future. But what I'm doing is I'm going from credible sources when I talk about when I talk about United States death toll. So the Pentagon confirmed this morning that 3 U.S. service members have been killed in action as part of Operation Epic Fury, the joint U.S.-Israeli military campaign against Iran that began early Saturday morning. There have been also, and this also marks the first U.S. combat fatalities in this conflict. Additional casualties, there have been 5 more U.S. service members, I don't think we were allowed to call them servicemen anymore, have been seriously wounded, and several others have sustained minor injuries, including shrapnel wounds, concussions, and are being treated and returned to duty where possible. The location and circumstances of these initial reports indicate that the deaths occurred during Iran's retaliatory strikes on U.S. military assets in the region. At least one source says that the attack killed 3 troops, happened in Kuwait. So I don't, we don't know where this is, and I don't think we need to know either. Early reports on Saturday, shortly after Iran's initial missile and drone barrages, stated that there were no U.S. casualties from those waves, with defenses successfully intercepting most threats and only minimum damage to installation. These fatalities were announced Sunday as the operation continued and the retaliations intensified. So we do have that situation now. United States, United States soldiers are starting to come home in body bags. And, that is literally just the reality of the situation. Also, and I know I'm running through this quick, guys, because there's a lot to get through. There have been two mass shootings now in America. So there's been one mass shooting in Austin, Texas. Look, and I'll share this with you. So can I share this? Give me a second. Right, let me refresh that, and then I'll share this with you. So this is the first shooting in Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas bar shooter possibly motivated by Iran attacks. Quran found in car. FBI. Oh, let me stop that. I'm just going to stop it when the ads come on. FBI eyes terrorism after 2 killed, 14 injured. So this was a mass shooting at a bar, and the gentleman has been identified. Can I share this? Hang on. Oh, it's ads all the time. Right, can I take them off? Oh, no, I can't. Right, so I can't share this, guys, because there's literally ads everywhere. But the guy has been, I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this for 1 second, okay? So this is the gentleman that's been arrested on suspicion of these attacks. That's him there. That's the person who's been arrested. Now, they're claiming, you know what? They're not claiming. I've seen a picture of him. He was wearing a hoodie that said property of Allah. So that's what he was wearing. There was a Quran found in his car. And the mainstream media are saying he was possibly out for vengeance over the US attacks on Iran. This is what law enforcement have told the New York Post. The Texas shooter, Nadid, I don't even know his name, guys. I can't pronounce his name. It's not in English. I'm not going to pronounce it. Had a Quran in his car and was also wearing an under t-shirt featuring the Iranian flag or other Iranian symbols when he opened fire on the beer garden in the nightclub in Texas. Also, there's been a shooting in Ohio. This is literally just out, guys. This is like less than an hour old. There's been another shooting. Well, let me get this up. This is from, right, let's just throw this up there. Right. And I'll share this with you guys. So there's been another mass shooting in America, this time in Ohio. 9 shot at Ohio music venue during birthday party as band plays nearby. So I'm just going to read this, guys, because I'm literally getting this for the first time. This is less than an hour old. 9 people were injured in a mass shooting early Sunday at the Riverfront live music venue in Connecticut's East End. Authorities, get off, hang on. Authorities confirmed as police launched an investigation into the gunfire that erupted during a birthday party celebration. So I don't think they've caught anyone. All 9 victims were taken to local hospitals. Most suffered Oh, hang on. I thought you said 9. Okay, 9 people shot, not 9 people killed. All 9 victims were taken to local hospitals. Most suffered non-life-threatening injuries. However, one person remains in a critical condition. The police have not released any information about the suspect. So that's all we know on that, I guess. Right. Also, with the festivities that are happening in the Middle East, let me share this real quick, and then I will jump onto the chat. So the final thing I'm going to share onto the chat, guys, before I jump onto the chat is... fears Iran will tell proxies to attack. To attack targets across Europe as Tehran unleashes fury after Ayatollah's death. So this article goes on to say that fears are growing that Iran will call on proxies to attack targets across Europe as Tehran unleashes fury after the Ayatollah's death. Speaking to German media, Mark Henrichman of the Parliamentary Control Committee of the Intelligence Service in Germany warned that the weekend's attacks won't stay isolated to the Middle East. He told some German news article that I can't pronounce that the escalation in the Middle East doesn't just affect the region itself. The Iranian regime has repeatedly demonstrated in the past that it carried out terror beyond its own borders. The German official continued to say Iranian sleeper cells in Europe cannot be ruled out as a form of Tehran's retaliation. You don't want to be going out after Tuesday, guys. Like, after Tuesday, I would say that is the time when everybody needs to understand that these sleeper cells will be operating with pretty much impunity. And I do think we're starting to see the flames. If you're sat there right now and you're watching this live stream, all right, Donald Trump is not to blame for this. The United States and Israel are not to blame for what's about. Oh, hang on. Donna is saying UK fighter jets on the move, to me. To me. I think, what have you called them, Donna? Donna, can you? Oh, Middle East. Right, Middle East. Okay. Middle East. Donna's saying the Middle East. Right. Okay. Let me just check this up. I can't. I can't find where is that recent, Donna. I can't, if that's new. I can't find it on the mainstream. But listen. I watched a video. So I watched earlier on a video of John Healey, the defense minister, and he's had a listen. Hang on, guys. Right, it's not the time to be sober. Now's not the time to be sober, guys. I don't want you don't need to be sober right now. Like, nobody needs to be sober. So I watched an interview. Yeah, sorry, Donna. Yeah. I figured it was the Middle East. I didn't listen, Donna. I didn't. Maybe Donna can call in those fast jets if she needs them. So what I want to throw out there now to everyone is we are seeing politicians on mainstream media, and they look to be I was watching this interview with John Healey, the defense minister for the United Kingdom. And the mainstream media were pummeling him with questions about the Middle East. Now I understand the context, how deep that rabbit hole goes. Can you imagine, right, being sat there as a politician right now, and you know that if you say one wrong word, the communities in the United Kingdom are going to be up in flames, burning down buildings, going stabby, going rammy, going blowy, going burny, going absolute bonkers. Can you imagine if that was the case? So now when you see these politicians, and look, let me be quite clear, this is a self-inflicted injury that the politicians have done themselves to gain votes. That's what they've done, guys. They have sold themselves. They made a pact with the devil, and now the devil wants his due. Right, let me jump, guys. There's loads of comments on the chat. So, Sean, see the Guardian, Sean. It's all over the mainstream. Right, hang on then. I just literally did a Google search then. UK jets. No, I'm getting nothing recently. I'm getting oh, hang on. I'm getting the UK has shot down one drone. Like, the United Kingdom has shot down one drone. UK jets fly defensive. Is this recent? Is this recent? I'll have to look back at that, Donna. I will. I'll have to look back at that because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, I've got plenty of videos to share with you guys because it does look like the situation in the United Kingdom is deteriorating. Guys, listen, we are in world, like, there's no going back after this. I've seen people on Main Street, people saying, oh, this will be over in a week. This will be over soon. No. I'm going to tell you where this is going. This is going to lead to Saudi Arabian boots on the ground. This is going to lead to a total restructuring. This is going to lead to the civil war in the United Kingdom, full-scale war in Ukraine, because when the United States are committed to that conflict, the Russians know that the United States can't go and help the Ukrainians. So guess what? It's down to the United Kingdom and France and Germany and the European allies to pull our big boy pants on and go deal with the Russians. Exactly as I said it would. Silly is saying the Iranian and the Gulf Arabs support the war. The main communities that are against are the West. You know what? You're right, Silly. And on that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing my videos with you guys because there's like so much like dark stuff. Really dark stuff has been happening across the world. So I'm going to start. Let me try and find this. Is it that one? Not that one. Hang on. Give me a second. I'm trying to find it. This has never happened before. Right. It's this one. Right. So I'm going to start with this video. Then I'm going to do that video. In fact, let me do that one, and that one. Right. So I'm going to start with this video. So this is reportedly, a video from London today of allegedly Pakistani men attacking a car carrying and the car was waving an Iranian flag. Can you imagine how far we've descended right now for this to even be a thing? So I don't know what that says in Arabic, guys. I've no idea. This could be totally wrong. But if you guys can see there, that's a car, obviously, with said Iranian flag. And I think they're driving past a mosque there. And the description on this, I don't know how credible that is, so let me be clear. The description on that says Pakistani men attack car waving Iranian flag. So listen, I think people in the United Kingdom need to start, saying things like "Salam alaikum, Habibi," and Shonik, and the Muslim, enter. So these are scenes from today, ladies and gentlemen. Reportedly, I'm assuming they are. These are scenes from the United Kingdom from today. So it looks like we are having Pakistanis attack Persian Iranians. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. Pakistanis are now allegedly attacking Persian Iranians. Right, I've got another video to share with you guys as well. So this is a video, and these people are chanting "Death to America, death to Israel." So this is, again, allegedly this is today, and they're chanting "Death to America, death to Israel." So let me share this with you. So you can hear the drum. That drum beating, honestly, I think that drum's going to give me post-traumatic stress one day. That boom, 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 boom. So here we have scenes. Look, they've all got their faces covered. So here we have scenes of people in the United Kingdom chanting "Death to America, death to Israel." So if you look at the flags, guys, the way to differentiate between the flags, so the I'm going to call it the Persian flag, right? Because it's getting difficult for me to say like pro-Iran, different Iran. It's getting difficult, okay? So I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm just going to try and use the word Persian and Iranian. And when I mean Persian, it's the same flag, but it's got the lion in the middle. And the Iranian flag, which has got like the red Star Wars thing in the middle. So if you guys look at these flags, these are like the red Star Wars flags. My God, my love you. 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 My God, Israel. So death to Israel, death to America. I mean, you would think they'd had learned their lesson from today, from chanting "death to America" and "death to Israel." It kind of doesn't work out well for them. But listen, they're in the United Kingdom, so they've got laws, they've got protection, and they've got they've got immunity now. They've got immunity now because they live in the United Kingdom, and they can they've got international law. Right, guys, let me just jump up through the chat. Googleinos is saying Iran has activated decentralized mosaic defense, giving commanders full autonomy for this. I don't know what that means, Googleinos. I don't know what that means. I've no idea what that means. Decentralized mosaic defense. I can only assume. I don't know what that means. I can only assume that's air defense or something. Right, guys, I'm jumping up. Right. Yeah, Miss Chloe Celeste is saying RAF Typhoon shot down an attack drone over Qatar. So that's it now. That's it, probably. The Muslims in the United Kingdom are going to go hell for leather, and they're going to go, oh, how dare you? Let's put this into context, right? They shot down one attack drone, probably with a missile that cost at least 100 grand. And the drone they shot down probably cost at the most 20 grand. All right. So, let's just accept that, the United Kingdom are not where they, are not the power that we used to be. Right. I'm going to jump to the bottom, guys. And I do apologize if I'm missing anyone's comments. James is saying Trumpy and Iran say they want to talk. Make no mistake, the violence goes up during talks. Iran's trump card, excuse the pun, is blasting ships and shutting the Strait of Hormuz. It's difficult, right? For those of you guys who don't know how significant the Strait of Hormuz is, in fact, hang on, actually, I've got a really good infographic here to share with you guys. Give me a second. Right. So if you guys don't know how important this is for everyone, so if you live in the world right now, we could be looking at a global recession. That's how big it is. And what do I mean by global recession? I mean no food on the shelves, no stuff coming in, no stuff going out, no fuel, literally energy, a total energy close down. 20% of the world's oil, guys. This infographic shows you how powerful this is. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on right now and you've not done so already, please like, share, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, do all those things. Well, I just want to throw this out there now. Please pay attention to this video for the next 1 minute, 30 seconds, because this will articulate better than I can with infographics the significance, not better than I can, easier to understand with the infographics. This will articulate to you guys why the Iran conflict is so important for global dynamics, the global status quo.
He will be affected the most. First, let's understand if Iran blocks the Strait of Hormuz, what impact will it have on the entire world, and which country will be affected the most? First, let's understand what the Strait of Hormuz actually is. It is a small area of just 33 kilometers located between Iran, Oman, and the UAE. It is a narrow sea passage through which almost 20% of the world's oil supply flows, nearly 17 million barrels every day. This oil comes from 8 countries located in the Persian Gulf, including Iran, Iraq.
Sorry, guys, just give me a second, right? I want to pause this, so I'm going to have to start the video again. I do apologize. It's been my system has been doing this a few times, so let me reshare this, right, and start it again from the beginning, because I do want to pause it and give commentary.
It is a small area of just 33 kilometers located between Iran, Oman, and the UAE. It is a narrow sea passage through which almost 20% of the world's oil supply flows.
Okay, so 20% of the world's oil supply. That's not a small amount, ladies and gentlemen. Like 5% of the world's oil supply. If you can fuck about with 5% of the world's oil supply, you can crash countries, you can start wars, you can do pretty much whatever you want. Now, the significance of this is Iran right now absolutely can and has closed the Strait of Hormuz. There's a naval conflict going on right now. There are ships being hit all over the place, most of them Iranian. But we have not seen the biggest ace in the hole yet. And the biggest ace in the hole is asymmetric naval warfare. So right now, and I've been warning about this, right now you have all these ships, all these oil tankers in close proximity, dropped anchor. Guess what's going to happen? There's going to be drone strikes come from another civilian shipping vessel, and they're going to, and nobody's going to know how to deal with it. I said that this would happen, and it's going to happen pretty soon. No, I don't have a crystal ball, but I understand tactics, I understand strategy, and I know this conflict.
Nearly 17 million barrels every day. This oil comes from 8 countries located in the Persian Gulf, including Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE for the United Arab Emirates. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Qatar, 90% of their oil exports pass through this narrow route to reach the rest of the world. If Iran blocks the Strait of Hormuz, following countries will suffer the most damage. First is India, because it imports 85% of its oil, and 60% of that comes from Middle Eastern countries like Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the UAE. Fuel prices in India would skyrocket, and as a result, everything related to oil and all industries would face severe disruption. Industries could shut down, there would be job losses, and the economy would be severely affected. The second most affected country would be China. China is the world's
Okay, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining for the first time, I'm explaining with the help of this infographic how important this conflict is to global affairs, how important this conflict is to the world. There ain't no going back, ladies and gentlemen. There ain't no going back. This is not going to be done in 12 days. This is going to lead to Saudi Arabian boots on the ground. This is going to lead to a whole new structuring of the Middle East. And unfortunately, here in the United Kingdom, here in the West, we have imported a lot of these people into our country, and they are going to be allied with the old regimes. So prepare for the worst, ladies and gentlemen. What they're saying also is one of the other big countries that are going to be affected by the closing of the Strait of Hormuz is China. So obviously, that is another big tick in the box for the United States, right? If they can degrade China, that's also a good thing.
Largest oil importer, bringing in 10 million barrels of oil every day. 40% of China's oil imports pass through this Strait of Hormuz. Although China has built oil pipelines with Russia and Central Asia, they don't even fulfill 20% of its energy needs. So, if the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, China's economy could suffer a massive blow. And if China's economy is shaken, its effects will be felt all over the world.
So with China, and they don't, this video is trying to keep it short. With China, when the Chinese economy hits and it goes down, they need to put their prices up, right? Because if the energy costs in China go up, guess what? Their production costs go up. And guess what? If their production costs go up, guess what? our costs go up. So those of you guys who like going to these, I said this a couple of days ago. Those people who like going to those cheap shops, like B&M, Home Bargains, buying the cheap stuff that's imported from China. Well, guess what? All that stuff is about to go up. No, it's not me saying it. That is the logistics of this conflict. Jesus.
Third most affected country would be Japan, as it imports 90% of its oil and 75% of that passes through the Strait of Hormuz. The fourth most affected country would be Saudi Arabia. 80 to 90% of Saudi Arabia's oil goes to the rest of the world through Strait of Hormuz, while only 10% goes to Europe via its Red Sea coastline. So if this choke point is blocked, Saudi Arabia's economy will be heavily impacted. Imagine that a country suddenly loses 80 to 90% of its revenue.
When I said earlier on that you're going to see Saudi Arabian boots on the ground nobody's talking about this. Nobody's even considering this right now. Saudi Arabian boots on the ground in Iran. Okay, look at the proximity to Saudi Arabia and Iran. Look at them, literally across the pond. Right, they're right across the pond. Saudi Arabia are big enough to do this. Saudi Arabia and Iran are, they're historic enemies because of the particular strain of Islam they follow. Also, if Saudi Arabia can take control of the Strait of Hormuz, they become the controlling oil producer in that region.
What would happen to it? Something similar could happen to Saudi Arabia. There's also a high chance that Saudi Arabia might send in its military to reopen the route, and that could make the situation even worse. Fifth is Pakistan, which gets about 90% of its oil through the Strait of Hormuz. This oil meets around 27% of the country's energy needs. So if the route is blocked, prices in Pakistan could rise sharply. But there's an interesting twist. Since Pakistan shares a border with Iran, and several government reports suggest that 35% of Pakistan's diesel comes unofficially from Iran.
Remember, guys, what we keep saying on this channel, diesel, okay? Everything's about diesel, diesel, diesel. If the shit hits the fan big time, diesel will be off the shelves. You will not be able to get diesel in the United Kingdom, in Europe, if the shit hits the fan big time. And it is. And it absolutely is, guys. So all those times I've warned people and people are thinking, oh, Sean's just making content about conspiracies in the future. No, I'm telling you guys what's coming. So diesel, diesel, diesel. Our bug out car is actually petrol, and people thought I was crazy when I was buying it. It was like, oh, Sean, why are you buying that? It's, diesel's 30% more efficient. You've got more, not more efficient. Diesel is 30% more energy dense. I'm like, yeah, I get it's more energy dense, but if there's no diesel, if you can't buy diesel, it's like 0% dense. So if the shit hits the fan big time, all the diesel will go to the military, it will go to the government, because the whole world runs on diesel. Trains, bus, everything runs on diesel, guys. It really does.
So if the strait is blocked, Pakistan might turn to Iran for oil, either quietly or through an official deal. Next in line is the UAE, because as nearly as 72% of its oil exports rely on this Strait of Hormuz, the country does have a backup option, the Habshan-Fujairah pipeline, which allows it to bypass the strait and export up to 60% of its oil. But for a major economy like the UAE, losing the remaining 40% would still be a serious blow. Next comes the European countries like France, Germany and Italy, which on average get 10% of their oil through the Strait of Hormuz. A blockade here would hit them hard.
Okay, can you see? Okay, just quickly, can you guys see that that route there with the dotted line? How that is the route from through the Strait of Hormuz into Europe. The Saudi Arabians, before the 7th of October attack, the Saudi Arabians wanted to open a land corridor. So if you guys can look at the map there, I know it might not be the best. They could, and through that land corridor, they would then be able to go from the Persian Gulf, through Saudi Arabia, through Jordan, through Israel to the Mediterranean. And that would cut out any influence that Iran has for oil exports into Europe.
as well. Globally, experts warn that oil prices could soar past $150 a barrel, causing widespread inflation and possibly triggering a major global recession. So this small 33-kilometer area holds enough power to shake the entire world.
So there we are, guys. I thought that was a really good video, and it explains how important the Strait of Hormuz is. It's ridiculously important. It's ridiculously strategic. So I just wanted to share that. Right. I'm going to jump onto the chat, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Right. Let me jump down. Right. There's loads of comments on the chat. I'm literally just going to jump to the bottom. Jesus. Right. Google Enos is saying a mass stabbing. Right. Okay. America is under attack. America right now is under attack, guys. That's the reality. America is under attack. Let me throw this out there. Breaking news. Oh, right. So, right. Okay. Right. Okay. 4. Is it right? 8 hours. Right. Okay. I'm only right. This is 8 hours ago. Why have I not? Why am I only just seeing this now? Right. Okay. So, listen, guys. I've only just seen this right now. Let me share this. Am I on? I don't know if I'm back on. Am I back on, guys? Can somebody let me know if I'm back on? Am I back on? Am I back on? Right, I'm back on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. Sometimes it just goes off like that. Right. So let me. These channels. And remember when I was in the cellar and I was saying to you guys, yeah, the United States and the United Kingdom are going to diverge, and the United States are going to deal with the threat in the Middle East, and Britain is going to take the lead in Europe against the Russians because Britain has a huge Muslim population. And if Britain is involved in this war in the Middle East, we're going to have all sorts of crazy shenanigans from the Muslim community. I wasn't saying that for likes and shares. I was saying that because that's happening. That's coming, and you guys can see it now. So America right now, ladies and gentlemen, is under attack. There's no denying it. At least 4 injured in mass stabbing at Washington, D.C. At least 4 people have been injured in the mass stabbing at 9 Montgomery County Fire Rescue. Oh, right. Sorry. 9 Montgomery County Fire Rescue units have it. Do you know what? I'll tell you guys what I tell the girls when they're reading with them. I say, right, listen, if you're reading a sentence and you don't understand the sentence, just read the words at verbatim until you see a full stop, right? So I should take my own advice. 9 Montgomery County Fire Rescue units have been deployed to Silver Spring Metro Station, just a few meters from Washington, D.C.'s city boundaries, to render aid. 3 trauma patients were evacuated by Montgomery County's emergency aid services. The trio were taken by hospital to hospital, by emergency services. Metro Transit Police said the incident occurred outside their property with no impact on services. Sorry, guys, no suspects are in custody at this time. So, sorry, guys, I'm getting this in real time. I'm just trying to scroll down and see what we can, excuse me. Yeah, so it does look like today, like literally today, there have been 3 attacks in America, 2 shootings and a mass stabbing. There was the shooting in Texas, where the gentleman in question was from Senegal, which is in West Africa. Now, he reportedly was wearing a hoodie that said "Property of Allah." I don't know whether that's the hoodie. I mean, why was he wearing it if it was Allah's? Whatever. I don't know what that means. And also, he had a Quran in his car. Now, the police, the law enforcement sources have told the New York Post. See how I'm sloping my shoulders there? Law enforcement sources have told the New York Post that he was possibly out for vengeance after the US attack on Iran. It doesn't make sense. Senegal, you couldn't be like, how, honestly, I can't. There's so much stuff I need to get through here. And then have also been 9 injured in Ohio, 9 shot at Ohio music venue during birthday party as band plays by. This could be all circumstantial. This could be not related to what's going on in Iran, but we are seeing a lot, we're seeing a big uptick in this. And then obviously, as Googling is saying there, the mass stabbing in Washington, D.C. Dizzle Doodle, hello Dizzle Doodle, is saying Washington State stabbing case was identified as Alexander Shakabin, who stabbed 4 people. Apparently, so yeah, we get that in the United Kingdom, guys. We like here in the United Kingdom, we are always getting the we're always getting the mental health problem. Listen, I'm just gonna I'm gonna lay it out thick and thin for all of you guys. Yeah, I said I'm gonna lay it out thick and thin. If you stab someone, right, you've got a mental health problem, right? Nobody stabs anyone who's insane mind, right? That doesn't happen. Donna is saying the UK threat level is under review. Yes, so John Healey, the defense minister, was quizzed earlier today on go on. I think it might be Sky News, about the alert state in the United Kingdom. And he said, yes, absolutely. The alert state in the United Kingdom is under review. I think at the moment, the terror attack alert state is substantial, meaning that an attack is likely. So I think it's going to go up very soon to severe. Look, guys, when I tell you this stuff, I'm not telling it you, because I want to cause mayhem and carnage and chaos. I want to build spaceships. I do. I want to build spaceships. And I want humanity to leave this planet and be a Kardashev scale 1 civilization. Unfortunately, we're just fighting each other about finite resources. Right, let me jump over to Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, because I know what you guys are thinking. I know it, guys. You guys are all there on the chat, and you guys are thinking, like, right, Sean, just tell us what's been happening in Pakistan. And I'm like, what? You're like, yeah, just tell us what's been happening in Pakistan. I'm like, right, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I will let each and every one of you guys know what is happening in Pakistan right now, because the United States Embassy in the consulate, sorry. The United States consulate in Pakistan looks like it's been absolutely overrun. So let's just have a look at this. So, when I tell you guys, right? When I tell you guys that this is coming to the United Kingdom. So this is in Pakistan, right? So I would speculate that these gentlemen are Pakistanis, right? Does anyone want to call me out on that, right? Does anyone want to call me out on that and say, no, actually, Sean, they're no, right? This is allegedly, reportedly, this is reported on various news outlets. This is the United States consulate in Pakistan, right? Okay, let's tick that box, right? Is it fair for me to speculate that these men are Pakistanis? Is that fair for me to speculate, guys, that these guys are Pakistanis? Because, you know, I think that's a fair assumption to make, right? I don't think I'm being controversial there, right? So what I'm getting at here is when I say things to you, like when this comes to a housing estate, when this sort of stuff comes to when this sort of stuff comes to a housing estate, to one of these rural locations in England where it's going to take the police a long time to get there. Have a look at these gentlemen here. These gentlemen here, they're not carrying or using anything that you cannot find in the United Kingdom. Tell me I'm wrong. So the next question I've got to ask with you guys is, how many people from the, and I think they're all beautiful people, they're all peace-loving people, they all want to get along, but how many Pakistanis do we have living in the United Kingdom? Remember, I was talking about that guy from America. I was talking a while ago. There was a guy, an American guy, and he was, let me get this right. So there was an American guy, and he was on holiday, and he was like he was like a vlogger, and he was vlogging his trip to the United Kingdom, and he was in York. Beautiful place, beautiful city. Is York a city? Yeah, it's beautiful city, York. And he was in York, and he heard these young gentlemen talking in what he thought was, I don't know. Anyway, he went up to them and he said, "Hey guys, where are you from?" And they said, "Oh, we're Pakistanis." And he got talking to them and he was like, "Oh, so how long have you been in the United Kingdom?" And they said, "Oh, we live here." And he said, "Oh, how long have you lived here?" And, the Pakistani gentleman, they said, "Oh, we were born here." And the American was a little bit confused. And he's like, "So you were born here, but you're Pakistanis from Pakistan?" So the American, the American's quite polite. And he was a little bit confused as how somebody could claim that they were born in the United Kingdom, but still be Pakistani. So then, and he did a vlog and he actually said that their parents were born here as well. So now we have like second, third generation Pakistani immigrants whose mums and dads were born in the United Kingdom. They don't speak English. I mean, look, if you are born in a country, if you were born in England, you would expect, to talk like me or maybe a different regional accent, right? You wouldn't expect people to still speak Urdu or Pakistani and have a Pakistani accent, right? It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Anyway, what I'm getting at is we have beautiful, very large, very, very well organized, beautiful communities in the United Kingdom. And what I'm saying is that I'm going to play this video again, all right? With this video, all right? Watch this video and tell me, right? If you live in the United Kingdom or in Europe right now, tell me what you would do if this, how you would react if this mob turned up to your housing estate, to your street, and just started going door to door clearing. Sorry. I like it how somebody's got a bottle of water. Hydration, guys. When you're sacking an embassy, look, you need to keep hydrated when you're sacking an embassy. And I think that's the water. That's the dark blue water. And for those of you guys who've worked in the Middle East, dark blue water means it's got gas in it. I can't touch that stuff. So what do you think, guys? Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do what would you do if that sort of thing comes to your house, comes to your street, comes to your region, wherever you live? It's pretty terrifying, right? It's pretty terrifying. Right, Googleinos is saying articles, right? Oh, guys, there's so many comments. Right, right. Let me try and find. Right, Googleinos has got. Jesus. Right, okay, Bahrain. Okay, let me jump down. Listen, guys, there's so many comments on the chat. It's really difficult. Googling us is saying articles, and I'm just right, silly. I can't even comment. I can't even comment. UK, France, and Germany could use necessary defensive action on Iran as 94,000 Brits confirmed presence in Gulf region. Honestly, guys, I don't think Britain's going to get involved in this conflict at all. They can't. Britain cannot get involved in this conflict. Do you know why? Guys, do you know why Britain cannot get involved in this conflict? I'll show you. I will show you why Britain can't get involved in this conflict. Look at the ages of these guys as well. Look how old these guys are. They're not like men in their mid to late 40s. These are kids. Early 20s, I'd say. I mean, honestly, like that guy there, look, he's hitting that guy there. See him with the beige dish dash? He's hitting armored glass with a 2x4. With maybe it's a 4x4 actually. Hang on. Yeah, so he's hitting armored glass. You know, I think he's hitting armored glass with a piece of wood. Oh, but look at the numbers of them, right? Look at the guy there in the background. He's got a shield. We've literally got like sword and sandals. Like we've literally got sword and sandals. The guy in the background's got a shield. Oh God. So we've got one guy, right, using a piece of wood to hit armored glass. He's so furious. I'm going to hit, look at me. And they've got another guy with a shield. He's literally got a sword and sandals shield. Jesus. Right. Right, let me jump onto the chat, guys. Let me jump onto the chat. Googling us again is saying Iraq. Hang on. Oh, God. Right, I told you this would happen. This is it, guys. This is it. This is it. Right, I'm trying to find this article Googling us. Iran declares jihad. Jesus. Literally, I said that this would happen. Right. Okay, I've got this. So I'm just reading this now from the Telegraph. Iran declares jihad as this was 7 hours ago. How did I miss this? Iran declares jihad as anti-US riots spread across the Middle East. Senior clerics issue fatwa against America, saying vengeance is a religious duty for all Muslims. Do you understand now why Britain could not get involved here? Do you guys understand how fucking cooked we are in Britain? A leading Iranian cleric declared jihad against America and Israel on Sunday as anti-US protests swept across the region following the killing of the supreme leader. So senior clerics are issuing a fatwa. Listen, I thought a fatwa was something you ate. I did. I thought fatwa was food. I think I'm thinking of like shawarma or something. Anyway, senior clerics have issued a fatwa against America and Israel, saying that vengeance Vengeance is a religious duty for all Muslims. What do you think is going to happen there, guys? What do you think is going to happen? We are so cooked. We are so cooked, guys. But listen, don't worry. Don't worry, because the United Kingdom is going to very soon be fully balls deep in the conflict in Eastern Europe, fighting the Russians. That's where we are, guys. We are so cooked. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And we're seeing it now. You know, all these footsteps and the direction of travel I've been talking about, we're literally seeing it now. Go check out my other videos. King Valis Felix is saying, we're cooked. What about Israel? They're surrounded by 1 billion of them. Yes, but the thing about Israel is they've got a big fuck-off wall around them. They've got a military, they've got guns, and they've got a government who are willing to fight. Does anyone want to call me out on that? Does anyone want to say I'm wrong? Does anyone want to say I'm wrong on that, right? Yes, Israel is surrounded, but the Israelis have a big fuck-off wall around them. They have a military. Everybody in Israel has to do compulsory military service. They have guns, and they're willing to fight. Here in the United Kingdom, we've been infiltrated. We have people living among us. We don't have any guns, we don't have any balls, and we have a government that if you defend yourself, you will probably be taken to prison yourself. Lord of Langwiths is saying, Texas has had a terrorist attack. Right, is that recently, or is that the shooting in? Let me just search this. Yeah, I think that is the. I think that's the shooting in the bar. We spoke about that earlier. So basically, in a bar in Austin, a mass shooter potentially, and this is what the New York Times was reporting. This guy walked in there. He was wearing a hoodie that said "Property of Allah." He had a Quran in his car. He opened fire, killed 2 people. Now he was a Senegalian migrant with U.S. citizenship. Right, I'm just jumping over, guys, to the I'm just jumping over for updates now from Middle East updates. So I'm looking on Al Jazeera, okay? Police station near Tehran hit by strikes, people trapped under rubble. Iranian rockets hit Jerusalem. That's 4 minutes ago. An Al Jazeera correspondent is reporting that Iranian rockets made a direct hit on the city. Oh, why would you target Jerusalem? Trump opened to talks with Iranian leaders, says the White House. Series of blasts heard over Jerusalem after Iranian missiles detected. European Union, like anyone cares. Like anyone cares. European Union calls for maximum restraint in conflict. The European Union's 27 members have called for maximum restraint. Can you imagine, right? You're in a fight, right? There's missiles going over and all sorts of crazy stuff. The bad guys have just called for a holy war against your people, and the European Union are going, we must call for restraint and a full and fully respect internationally. Fuck, he said it. No, he said it. I didn't even read this article, guys. Honestly, like I should write these. You should give me the headline, and I should write the article, right? I didn't even read. Right, okay. So, right, let me read the article. So, those of you guys who've been following me for a while know why I think this is so funny, right? European Union calls for maximum restraint in Iran conflict. The European Union's 27 member states have called for maximum restraint, protection of civilians, and full respect of international law. In a statement issued by the bloc's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, I think that's name is Kaja Kallas, on Saturday evening, Kallas said it is essential that the war does not spread any further. They're so stupid. The EU's top diplomat hosted an extraordinary Foreign Affairs Council meeting on Sunday. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. International law. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are watching for the first time and you want to know what I think about international law has got about as much credibility as this 8-ball. Do you know what? It's actually quite good sometimes. Is international law credible? Don't bet on it. That's what it says. It says don't bet on it. You see, international law is one of those things, I believe, that weak leaders hide behind for their own inaction. There's no such thing as international law, right? It doesn't exist. Where is it? Where can I read it? Can somebody tell me where I can read international law? What's legal? What's illegal? Is it legal to stone people to death? Under international law, is it legal to throw stones at people until they're dead? I don't know. You see, some places you're allowed to do that, and some places you're not allowed to do that. So does local law trump international law, or does international law trump local law? Because you would think that international law superseded law. So it's just so ridiculous, guys, honestly. And when people say international law, what I hear is, I'm too weak to make my own opinion. Every time. So just change those words out, right? When you hear international law, just change out those words with, I'm too weak to make my own opinion and I don't know what I'm talking about. That's what, that's what international law means. And this just in from 1 minute ago, ladies and gentlemen, a series of blasts heard over Western Jerusalem. A series of loud blasts have been heard over Western Jerusalem following air raid sirens after the Israeli military said it detected missiles launched from Iran. In fairness, I thought the Iranians would have depleted their missile supply by now. So I'm a little bit shocked at how many missiles they've got. A short while ago, the Israeli military identified missiles launched from Iran towards the territory of the State of Israel. The army said in a statement, defensive systems are operating to intercept the threat. Right, let me refresh this. Give me a second, guys. Oh, 5 hours ago, UK draws up. That's gay. I'm not going to talk about oil markets. Worst fears are. Oh, this is interesting. So the oil markets' worst fears are here as the conflict hits the Strait of Hormuz. Right. I'm not going to go into it again, but for those of you guys who are joining for the first time, I just did maybe 3 to 5 minutes talking with a little infographic about how important the Strait of Hormuz is, which is where 20% of the world's oil, 20% of the world's oil goes through. Right, Googleinos has got 2 articles to share. Right, listen, guys, I do apologize that the chat's going bonkers right now. Let me find Googleinos' articles. Oh, hang on, I think I've got both. So Googlinos is saying the GCC foreign minister, all measures will be taken to protect our land, including the option of responding to the aggression. So listen, like I said, I've said this for a long time. I don't see any scenario where US boots on the ground do go into Iran, but I do see regional allies doing that. And President Trump says the war with Iran could last 4 weeks. Yeah, listen, I said this wasn't going to be over quick. Remember what, literally everything I've been telling you guys is happening now. Very soon, potentially this Tuesday, I would say you're relatively safe in the United Kingdom until Tuesday, right? Something might kick off before Tuesday. But I would say get your shit in order before Tuesday. And on Tuesday, you need to just not go out. And Trump is saying, Trump has said Saudi Arabia are fighting as well with Iran. Is that physical? I don't know if that's a physical war or if that's I don't know. Right, listen, guys, I'm jumping down. There's lots of, Silly Gallardi, who's in Israel. Silly Gallardi, who's in Israel, is saying, in an IDF statement, which is obviously the Israeli Defense Force, the military in the Israeli military, have said we took out 2,000 of their missiles. You see, this is what I'm kind of like. See, if this was me, and it's not, I'm not in charge of the Iranian. I'm not in charge of the Iranian offensive operations on Israel. However, if this was me, and I had allies and friends in Russia, I would have talked to them, right? So it's fair to say that the Iranians have been speaking to the Russians, right? That's fair to say. And the Russians will have said, okay, Ayatollah, don't use your best weapons straight away. Use cheap weapons. Let them deplete air defenses. Then send big boy later. It will be a catastrophic strike. And we destroy capitalist pig. No, we don't want to destroy capitalist pig. We want to keep them and take money. Keep selling oil to capitalist pig. And I can buy new yacht. Yes, okay, Yuri. Kenzie McKellen is saying, will this war expand? Should the UK? Absolutely. So Kenzie McKellen, okay, what I'm going to say is going to happen and what I believe will happen is, first of all, this war will expand to the United Kingdom in the context of sleeper cells, civil unrest, civil conflict, and skirmishes breaking out between communities, right? That's where I feel this is going to go. Very soon, because it's all started now. It's all started. There's no going back. There is literally no going back. Very soon, there's going to be another escalation in Eastern Europe. There's going to be another escalation in Ukraine. And that is going to force British boots on the ground in Ukraine. And then there's just going to be fucking two conflicts. That's what's coming, guys. So will this war expand? Yes and no. It was never the United Kingdom's intent to go into it was never the United Kingdom's intent to go into the Middle East. We can't. We don't have the logistics. We don't have the legs. We don't have the ships. We don't have the aircraft. But you know what we do have? A land corridor to Ukraine to fight the Russians. Googlinos is saying clashes in Baghdad between security forces and crowds trying to break through to the US embassy. Yeah, let me share this with you, actually. I've got a video of this. I totally forgot about it. Right. So I'll share this video, and I actually know where this is, believe it or not. I've actually drove down here quite a few times. This is the 14th of July bridge. Sorry, guys. For some reason, it's not letting me pause it because I want to pause and give commentary on these things. So let's try that again. So, as Google Enos is saying there, protests have broken out in Baghdad as well. People trying to make it into the U.S. Embassy. Okay, so just so everybody knows where these people are right now, can you guys see in the distance? Hang on. Can you guys see in the distance that thing that looks like the concrete structure that looks like an arch? So that is what's called the 14th of July Bridge in Baghdad, and it's like east of the city. So this is east of the city now. Just over that bridge, that's what people refer to as the green zone. Now, if you continue on that road, it bends round to the left, and it's about maybe another half a mile, and the U.S. Embassy is on the left again. So from this video, they're still quite a while away from the U.S. Embassy. However, they're trying to get in, and you can understand the dynamics, and you can understand what they're trying to achieve, right? You see how they've got that tractor there? That is a massive tactic in the Middle East. They take farm vehicles, and that's not an armored one. And they like armor, excuse me, they armor these plant vehicles, so tractors, mini diggers, anything really that's big and chunky. They weld sheet plate, they weld sheet metal to the sides, and you've got like a little makeshift tank. So you are seeing there scenes from Iraq. So it looks like the Iraqis are showing solidarity. It looks like the Iraqis are showing solidarity with the IRGC, the controlling regime in Iran. Right, listen, guys, I am going to close this down now. I'm going to close this down now. You guys are fantastic and beautiful. I'm going to be back on tomorrow morning at 10, as I always am. If you guys are... hang on a minute. Right, there's a video of the Jerusalem... Hang on, let me... let me try and find this. Give me a second. Right, I'm just searching on X now. World War III monitor, Jerusalem strike. Give me a second. I spelled Jerusalem wrong. Right, I can't find that. Right, let me try and find World War III monitor, and then hopefully I'll be able to find it on his page. Right, listen, I'm gonna share this. This is okay. So for those of you guys who don't know what this is like living under this bombardment, I'm gonna share. Imagine being in Israel right now. You're with your kids, your wife, your husband, elderly, people who have mobility problems, and this is what you're living under right now.
Oh my God. Whoa! Whoa! Holy shit! Oh my God! Yo!
So you can see the interceptors there being sent up to try and take... I mean, this is like alien invasion shit. This is real, and this is going on right now.
Yo! No way! No way! No way! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, holy fuck!
Okay, so first of all, right, guys, don't be on the rooftops filming it, right? Get into cover, right? Get into cover.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yo! Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! That's retarded! It actually hit right here. Oh!
So let's just go back to that bit there. So what you can see here, you can see the projectiles coming in. And so what happens is there's all around Israel, there will be radar domes. They will be active and they'll be passive and targeting. I think that's what they call it. So you have a passive radar that is scanning wide on the sky, right? One of the radars will be scanning wide on the sky, and they'll say, right, something's coming in, and it's like in that direction. That will then send a message to the targeting radar. The targeting radar will say, right, it's exactly there. The targeting radar will say, right, it's traveling at this speed, it's traveling at this trajectory, and they will send up a interceptor missile. Normally they send 2 up. I think it's Leonardo who make the missiles, although I'm sure they've got different ones. But I think they were trying to find in 2017. They were trying to find a new manufacturer for them, and they were looking at a Ukrainian company called what's it called? Uzmashi or something. Anyway, so the targeting radar will then lock on to the incoming projectile, and then they will send up two interceptor missiles to try and take that out. But even if they do take it out, this is still a heavy lump of steel, and it's going to drop to the floor, right? And naturally, things will get through. So that, if you saw the left-hand side of the screen there, I think that was a successful intercept.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was a successful intercept, and you can see the debris falling. And that was obviously an unsuccessful intercept. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down. I'm going to close it. Oh, hang on. Sean, check out the recent posts before you go. I will. Right, let me check these. Give me a second. Let me check these. Right, I'm literally just jumping to the bottom, guys, and I'm gonna do a quick fire round. Templar Matt is saying, stay safe, everyone. Absolutely. Listen, I think everybody needs to stay safe. Everybody needs to stay vigilant. Try and get your shit in order before Tuesday, guys. You've probably got like tomorrow. Go out, get whatever you need, and then just stay in. Oh, he said on that account, right? Let me have a look on this account then. Yeah, there's loads of fun. Right, I'm going to share this, guys. I'm going to share this one with you, I think. Right. Do you know what, Googlinos? Thank you for putting me onto that one, mate. Thank you for putting me onto that channel. But let me share this with you now. And I'll probably share some more of this stuff tomorrow. I need to be careful what I'm sharing, though. So let me share this. This is another strike going into... hang on. Let me watch it first. Yeah. This is another... Imagine living like this. Imagine living like this. This is like full-scale Star Wars stuff, right? So watch this come in. So this is 2 strikes. There is a far strike, and you just see the flash. And then there's another strike. Watch it to the right-hand side of the screen, guys. This is pretty terrifying. Wow. I mean, that is like terrifying, right? That is absolutely terrifying. And the thing about this sort of aerial bombardment, you can't do anything about it. Like, there's nothing you can do about it apart from get low and slow. Right, reload the account post. Right, let me have a look at this. Yeah, there's nothing else that he's posted apart from, oh, geez, right, wow. Right, hang on. Give me a second. Fuck! That's got to be AI. Right, let me share this with you. Look, like, this is, like, crazy. Give me a second. The reason guys, listen, the reason it's taking me a while to share these things is because I want to watch it first to make sure it's suitable to share.
ماذا يشن شام بنمل تل أبيب واي ماذا
Fucking hell. I've never seen anything like that.
يشن شام بنمل تل أبيب واي
Jesus. That's crazy. I honestly, guys, I've never seen, I don't even know what that was. I've never seen anything with that strike pattern. Googliness is saying, Sean, on the World War III monitor account. I've literally, that's what I'm on. I'm on his account now. I'm on his account now. Yeah, there's nothing else on that account. There's nothing, I don't know. Maybe I'm on a different one. Right, listen, guys, I am going to close this down now, right? I'll be back on tomorrow morning. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. I'm going to be back on tomorrow morning at 10. Oh, right, okay, right. Right, okay. Sean, right, okay. I'm on, right, Googleinos. I'm on right now the World War III monitor account. Hang on. He's got a President Trump just put a new speech. Is that? That's 5 minutes. I can't watch that. Are we talking about the new speech about Donald Trump? Is it a new speech? Right. Let's watch this for 2 minutes. Right. Let's see what this is. Are we talking about the new speech by Donald Trump? Are we talking about the new speech like Donald Trump's? Right, let's go with what Donald Trump's saying. Right, let's listen, guys. We're in the end time, so let's listen. Let's do the speech. Give me a second. We'll do Donald Trump's speech. Listen, I know Keir Starmer's just done a speech as well, but Donald Trump Starmer.
Overwhelming military offensive. Over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, All over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization. They have waged war against civilization itself. Our resolve, and likewise that of Israel, has never been stronger. America is now, again, the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. But the only reason we enjoy the quality of life that we do and the freedom and security is we have done things that others are unable to do. But it's because of warriors who are willing to lay down their lives to do battle with our enemies. And they do battle better than anybody. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons, would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. Not going to let it happen. We're not happening to us.
Okay, what I think this is a battle update. Because of the time, I'm literally just going to jump over straight away now and share this. So, I don't know why he's making a speech. Nobody cares. He's not doing anything. Britain have no active role in this. Why is he jumping on his soapbox? So please, Muslim community, don't go stabby, rammy. Please. Right, gay. I'm not listening to that anymore. Okay, so what both of these speeches were basically are just like address the nation speeches. They're not going to tell you anything more in those speeches that I've told you guys already. Keir Starmer, every time so remember what I said earlier, every time Keir Starmer gets up now and he says, we are not involved. Please, we're not involved. That's because he's worried about the activation of sleeper cells in the United Kingdom. Nothing else, guys. Nothing else. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down now. You guys are amazing. You're beautiful. You're fantastic. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10 and give everyone an update. If there's anything that is huge and a huge breaking news, I'll be back on to give it you guys. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, on that bombshell, hang on. UK accepts US's request to use its military bases, Starmer says. All right, okay. Well, that's going to stir up the Muslims, right? That's going to stir up those Muslims. Listen, you have got until Tuesday, I think, guys. You've got till Tuesday. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bid you all good night. I'm not going to say dobra noche. I feel that's a nice way to say it. Anyway, good night, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back on at 10. And if you've not done so already, make sure you hit those buttons down below.